Hi there, I'm Dr. John, but you can just call me John. Today we're going to be discussing how tight hip flexors, the muscles in the front of your hips, could be the cause of low back pain, and as always, along the way we're going to crack a couple lame jokes. Okay! So first I'm going to show you where the hip flexor muscles are, where they attach, teach you why they might be causing low back pain if you do have low back pain, what could cause tight hip flexors in the first place. We're going to show you how to assess if your hip flexors are in fact tight, and then finally I will show you how to stretch them. Sound good? Yay! Here we've got our bony guy. We need to come up with a name for this fellow. So if you could comment a creative name, I'd love to hear your ideas. So anyways, the hip flexors attach to your lesser trochanter on your hip here, and then they travel both into this area. The muscle is called the iliacus, and I'm going to show you a diagram of the skeleton with the muscles on them. So you have from here to here your iliacus, but the important one is your psoas. It also attaches to the lesser trochanter of the hip, and it goes and attaches to L4, 3, 2, 1, and T12, as well as the discs in between. So just imagine, if you've got something tight going from here to here, and it's pulling like an elastic band, it's going to pull on your low back here at the front, and that's going to make your back sort of potentially kind of hyperextend. Can you appreciate how if something was going to be pulling along here in this direction, it might just cause a little bit of some hyperextension, maybe some more pressure on some of the joints in the back here, or just some discomfort in general in this area. So here's the kicker. They can become tight either from overuse or a lack of use. So the overuse could be a lot of cycling, running, or different physical activity. You know, if you're a soccer player running and kicking, that can cause the hip flexors to really tighten up. Conversely, if you're sedentary and you're sitting a lot, demonstrate on our dude here in case you couldn't see my hip. If the hip is like this, it's in a seated position, right? Here you're standing, and here you're in a seated position. And so then the muscle is in a shortened position, and the body's going to remember, oh, that's how it should be. It should be a shorter muscle, and it gets tighter over time from sitting. Now I will show you how to assess if your hip flexors are in fact tight, because maybe they're not tight. Maybe that's not what the problem is. There's a lot of different problems that could be causing low back pain, but this really simple test will let you know if they are in fact tight. To tell if our hip flexors are tight, what we're going to do is a really simple test. So you're going to lay on the edge of your bed. Hopefully your bed is reasonably tall. I'm going to bring my butt cheek off the edge. So my left butt cheek off the edge, but my body is going to stay on the bed. So you're on a bit of an angle. Then you're simply going to hug your right knee as your left leg lowers down. Now, if your left leg here is only going this far, it's basically parallel, that means your hip flexor is tight. It should be able to relax down. So if you're tight up here, we've got to stretch it, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. Okay, so to stretch our hip flexors that are right here at the front, what we want to do is go into a lunge position. We're going to be on our knees. Now, if you do have knee pain, you definitely want to have a soft, cushy surface under your knee. Yay! So the hip that we're stretching will be the one behind. So I'm going to stick my right leg in front. Now, there are three things that people sometimes do a little bit wrong that makes it so that they can't feel the stretch very well. First, I'm going to just show you how to do the stretch, then we're going to go over those three things. So we stick our leg out here quite a bit. We're going to translate our hips forward, down on like a 45-degree angle. It's like we're trying to touch our hips to the floor, and we want to stay upright and turn our back hip in towards the knee. Now, some things that people do when they're first trying this out, if they've never done it, is first they don't put their foot far enough out. Sometimes they start like this, and then they end like this, where their knees going over their toes, and it's just not as easy to relax into. So that's why we want to stick the foot out a little bit more. It just makes it easier. Next, what sometimes people do not do is, instead of being upright, they bend forward. Now, if you're bending forward, you might get a bit of a stretch, and that's okay, especially if you're super tight. But if you come up, you're going to stretch your hips much better. So you want to stay vertical. And then lastly, sometimes people don't really turn their hip in. So I'm going to exaggerate a bit. Sometimes people, they're really open. It's like their hips are pointing this way. We want to turn our hips like that. And then you're going to really get a good stretch. Does that make sense? Yeah! So now you know how to assess if your hips are tight, why they might be tight, and how to solve the problem. Again, I'm Dr. John. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below. I love it when people comment below, like, and subscribe, so please do that if you feel so inclined. Remember, get the 6 aspects of health every single day. Those are earth, air, fire, water, work, and rest. You can learn all about them on the website, devilorganic.com, or on this YouTube channel. And what aspect was this? Aspect of rest, where we're taking care of ourselves, doing rehabilitative type things. Stretching is just one aspect of the aspect of rest. See you in the next video.